The sets of divided sequence, staged and apart, escapes something. Oh, I should mention that these three books are actually real poems, which I generally don't write. But yeah, I've started to do that, so here we go. That it is how in an images, thought for it, Braxton emerges. As it should bend from a light series of color, padded reversals of something repeated, only relocates surfaces, sent toward informations of collections. Does this, or wins through it? An hour of it, folded to, in part, to take as guides for this. What relations, therefore, views, seldom belonging strewn about a table, or printed flowers taken as though a photograph. But it is, as it were, for one standing as such, composed in an hour or time, leaning as much in positions of a self, such lost ideas, or it is a other self-thought, or something else, may borrow it a relation to. This seems, this prints it, a similarity of breathing, does not know as whether this, or that, or thoughts to say to one other. There is a setting for there, as this would set, of to say often how, withstanding it is, sorted for us, walks, to then, as to say what of a grass is. Is it then to say whether is this just a set of grasses? Of it to be said, it is a set, is illusory object, at screen rather than origin of images, paragraphs, as to think of it a broad leaf thing, few scant marks of a sign or tree plant, complete applications, cannot speak until known it is not like a pile. Onto other, that it would seem as much to think it as it were, what view, amendexical to something, but provokes itself as a document, their relocations, or is materials there. There is a single image, then there another. More it is that it is of many channels, part of the room, that it becomes, as this is drawn in itself, like guides to, of sequences, what has been actually built, what has actually been there to be built, answers from one room to another, by filling it, gains its sound, the dressing of walls, in other words, filming sagebrush. When walks to the side yard, the photograph of a plant, if anything. Worded sequence, reach of tables, outside the yard is wet, stands in front of that, it were, a hedge document, the printed image of bending folios, a leaflet, as of a compound leaf, slanted amid its certainties, there is a broken photographs. Waiting for photographs. Said there was residue of hours. In a room, the often pages of leafing through this or that, various things, or it is the television image of plant life, washed light, or other remote ideas of thinking, operations always familiar, sets of things also. Copies to then, a day alters perceptions of. When if there are fractured bracts related, interrupted images, and indexes of thicket stuff. The paragraphs of light, kinds of moss littered, as to speak quietly, it is film collections. After in other sequences of room, each to it in wet, is gray catalog, shrubs articulated into it. this piece is called Tapes Hands, and it's about camcorders, camming, video recordings. I was really into video recording dogs for a while. So, anyway. Oh, it's in quatrain, so that's really important. Sees if then could be that. Sees if then could be that of a type, viewing pattern. Thinking of what is doesn't know, outside night. Cities. Bent, it is a table over, it is other hand. Sure or. Over in there is does expires of thing to drown. Can think to make a thing, or also not. Where is printed, thought to say of a hands. Is retentions, what else? Past, to therefore landscapes open to. Indexes, order to, in. There the options to say of. Brings to forms to sight, day various readings of. Simple to remake, though, is different, okay. Printed hands, to it if variants of. This is something to set it over, heaped their gripped pockets. Then as whereto remarks there is a grasses collected in. Strange to say if to say. Said to, therefore, is indexical to it, hand pattern. People know other people's hands. Nothing else to do. If it recorded image. Speaking as though then to let others of it also. Is taping images of dogs, is tapings of them. Restated of it is postures of saying. Sameness in there is someone to say something for. Part, distances, walk set. Talks to say if, etc. What else? Holds it, a thing to, bought, there are hands,